Okay, so let's chat about how I feel you should be doing your cuts. Clean and clear and precise are always going to be your best friends. The aim of this whole thing, it's all centered around communication. You were trying to send a message to the accompanist whilst overlaying that with verbal communication when you're running your song with the accompanist. But at the same time, if you can get your sheet music cuts nicely, clearly annotated, it's going to set you way ahead, because all you want to be doing is making sure that your verbal communication is just confirming what you've written. You don't want to be getting into the room and have none of this prepared, because it just sets you back. It does not put professional foot forward. And I know from my perspective, I get a little bit impatient when the preparatory work is not being done. Okay, and this goes into like marking your cuts, putting it in a folder, having it ready to go, not just dumping it on the music stand and running away, all that sort of stuff. So first and foremost, let's just chat brackets. Of course, I encourage you to use a ruler. I will not be using a ruler, but if you, depending on what you're using, this program does have. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm using a ruler. This has a ruler. So this is the bracket symbol that I believe you should be using. So I'll get rid of it for now. And what it's going to be doing, it's going to be directing, pointing into the music that's being played, not the other way around. There's some schools of thought that they do the bracket like this. That's the cut music. To me, the bracket, when it's facing the direction of the cut, it brings more attention to the cut. And I don't want to pay attention to the cut. I want to pay attention to the music that I'm just playing. So with that in mind, of course, you're using a ruler and it's nice and pretty and nice and clean. Let's say you're doing this. You've got a bracket. You beautifully cleanly, and I'll use boxes for this. So I'm using a program called Fourscore. Like this. Use a line. Like this. Generally speaking, use black. It's just I've got lots of different colors on this program. But just use black. Like this. Like this. That way, I can clearly see that I need to play the music here, and then I need to continue here. All right? I understand it looks a little bit messy because I've not really done it properly, but just to kind of get you started. Okay. That said, though, you don't need to bracket the beginning of the song if that's what you're using. And you don't need to bracket the end of a song. To show you that now. All right, it's a bit longer than I expected it to be. So we've got these double bar lines. That implies the end. And if that's the end that you're using, don't worry about bracketing. That said, though, if you want to do a cut, say for example, you want to start here, you do a bracket, draw a line. You don't have to do the box, but I'll let you choose whether you do the box. It just kind of helps clean things up a little bit. And then you do a bracket here. And then you can do a box, of course, do it neatly and nicely, not like me. And then that way we can see it's like, okay, you want to use this bar, this bar, this bar, this bar, and then all these bars pretty much through to the end. Okay, so I can see that these brackets, they end up acting like, I like to refer to them as a little portal. So like the music goes like this, and then like this, then we go through the portal, and then we come out the other end here. Now I don't think you need to do a bracket down here because it's the start of a system and it's pretty clear that that's where I'm going, but it wouldn't hurt. So that's just basic bracketing principles. Seems a little straightforward, but hey, none of this can ever be too common sense in my mind, or too assumed. Now, of course, some people actually white out the bars they're not using. This is good, but note that I've just gotten rid of the key signature by doing that, and the time signature. So time signature, generally speaking, it's on the first page. So just be wary of that. If you're going to white box things, be wary that you're not getting rid of important information. And then, of course, there's bonus points when you print out the sheet music and you're using half one page, half another page. You can actually fold that page and put it in a folder, and then that way the reader, the accompanist, it just flows onto one page rather than two pages. So that is the basic premise. It's not absolutely needed, but you can write start and end, and when your cuts start and end. And then I would just not have any music after it so the accompanist doesn't get confused and keep reading on just in case they missed it. But if you get your brackets kind of right, then you should be good. All right, we'll leave it there. Just sing out if you have any questions.